How are you, Darren?
I think I'm doing great. Are you doing great, John?
We're keeping it real here. We're doing okay. We're getting by. But
Not just keeping it real, but you're keeping it on brand. I appreciate that it just says SoHo Johnny right behind you. Because my first question was going to be, do I call you John, Johnny, SoHo Johnny? What do I call you?
Soho Johnny. Some people say Soho. So how are you, Darren? Thanks for having me today.
My pleasure. I mean, we were connected by Lori, and anyone who Lori likes, I just know is great people. So, how do you like to be thought of? Because a lot of people hear your name and they first say philanthropist, but then other people go, no, let's put the good stuff that I do in the background. Let's talk about the other stuff.
Well, I guess if I had to describe myself, I'm probably, you know, it's really not about me. It's about community. It's about putting people together, and it's about music being the tie that binds in a time of diversity when we need it the most. Okay. Um, you tie that with some charity and outreach and doing things to try to help people in a time again where it could be so relevant,
Hmm.
and the passion and the connectivity of performing and the audience and putting artists together and doing shows and that whole ambrosia, if you will, is a connect is creates a certain passion, and I'm blessed and I've met so many beautiful people along the way in what I do and producing concerts and got some other things going on where I'm going to be doing some of my own music and everything. But I've been blessed. Organic. It's been an organic growth for me. I'm really just a kid from the Bronx that was behind the desk all these years from the Boogie Down Bronx.
Yeah, as you mentioned, also a musician, also a producer of events and all that. Usually, you don't find people who can produce events and do the artist thing because it's different skill sets. Being a producer of events is a very long term kind of thing, whereas being a performer is in the moment, feeling the things, assuming you're a legit artist. Have you always been able to do both of those things without it being hard?
No, of course it's hard, and a lot of times it's stressful, especially when you're putting on an event. You know, and it's also even harder depending on your personality. I'm an A-type personality. I want everything to be perfect.
Mhm.
But even besides that, I want it to be great for the audience. I treat the artist like like family when they come as well. It's all about that feeling within and just portraying. The objective is to get people just to step out of their lives a little bit and take a break and just letting their hair down.
Right.
And everybody's welcome from every walk of life. As long as you're there, good spirited for each other, and just enjoy yourself. And I've been. And the people that I've attracted and the artists that have approached me to go on to the shows, I mean, it's incredible. I mean, we just did a virtual show. Of course, we had to be virtual,
Right.
but I was blessed with some great people around me: John Valesco, Eileen Shapiro, Jimmy Starlight, many people, and Myra. Uh, but I I just approached me and just volunteering their time. I helped start a foundation called Let Me Help Inc.
Right.
and letmehelpinc.org. And that's kind of a conduit because foundations could pivot and give to different charities, multiple charities at once, or just change charities depending on what that event is. So we've had musicians support on a concert we did November 24th virtually. It's a 6 hour concert, believe it or not, from
Yeah.
artists all over the world, and some iconic ones. And we either we had footage or shout outs or some performances from
Yeah.
everyone from Patrick Stewart, Ozzy Osbourne, Sharon Osbourne, Cedric the
Flash.
Entertainer, and the
Yeah.
list goes on and on. Rick Wakeman,
Jamie
John
Lynn.
Lodge from the Moody Blues, and
Splash.
I could spend a lot of time going through the list, and I don't want to leave anybody out. But the point, just in answering your question, is just it's been a beautiful organic journey because I guess when I get asked this question, like where did this come from? As I said, I was born in Manhattan, and then my parents moved to the Bronx, and when I was in grammar school, I was this practical joker. I used to get in trouble, but I was still always, I was a nervous kid that stuttered, but I would always make people laugh, even in
Yeah.
that form of entertainment that never left. When I parents had a house in the Bronx, there was a garage in the back. But eventually, when I have a house because they had apartments before that, and after I was still in grammar school, people would gravitate to the garage in the back and from all over the area. And I would have a strobe light and a black light, and I would play music. So it was like a little mini club. Of course, it was rock music, which is now classic rock, at this time. And it was great. I mean, all the parents of the other kids loved it because, the Bronx in those times, I mean, there was gangs on the street, and they just
Mhm.
felt more comfortable that they were at my garage. And, it was, and the journey continued from there in my lifetime. My family goes back in Soho 100 years, humble immigrants, no money, which is where the SoHo Johnny, the moniker I was named over years to work for my dad in the trucking business
Mhm.
down in Soho. And we'll still have a little bit of a stranglehold down there with properties. When
A
uh,
good stranglehold.
trucking business we sold, and then we try to, yeah, I mean, we try to offer opportunities. Of course, we're renting spaces, but we try to. It's not just a landlord tenant thing. I mean, that
Right.
platform is peprealestate.com, PEP, like Peter, either Peter Edward Peter. But we try to offer solutions, okay? Because especially now, even before COVID, the retail was more challenging for retailers to open up. It's all
Sure.
about pivoting on experiential. So those worlds kind of tied in because entertainment was always like on the side of me. Okay. I was just kind of in the midst of it, or I would just provide spaces for movie shoots and stuff like that. And, you know, I mean, I've done deals with celebrities and just, I guess, we're really catapulted. It is about 26 years ago. My dad died from cancer. And, that's when I started pivoting and I said, you know what, let me just step it up a little bit. And I just got more celebrities. I did shows. And I
Mhm.
started raising money for the American Cancer Society. And then the journey from there, the beauty that came of that, and just as I said before, the combination of music and philanthropy and charity, and the people that would come around created this, this mix that just constantly puts wind in my sails, and it's such a wonderful thing. And doors open. So here I am recording. We get some movie parts and everything. But again, this is not about me. This is just about
Well,
the
this
feeling
interview
that I
is
have now.
about you.
It really is. It really is the journey.
Yeah.
It's the passion, and the passion of artists.
Yeah.
And I'm doing a show soon that I'm going to be hosting a show called Soho at Night, and we're probably going to be spearheading celebrities, but not just celebrities in their own right because of how talented they are, how popular they are, but celebrities that have also given back. Okay, because to us, we think that's another celebrity by definition as well. So that's in the works, and it's just been really, really beautiful, Darren. And these are trying times. I mean,
Yeah.
social distancing does not mean social isolation. I always say it's completely the opposite. Okay, now's the time to outreach, call up people you haven't heard from. And maybe you can't see them, you can't get together, you can't have a wedding so easy, or you know,
Yeah.
but it's more important to have that outreach more than ever. And I think that's part of my platform now too. And I'll give a shout out to you, for instance, having a show like you have here. This is so important. What we all do, it all adds to the
Thank you.
benefit of others and just creating entertainment and communication pathways.
Well, to your credit, when you're like 25 and you want to work in entertainment, you kind of think that everything should be happening for you, even though you don't have the relationships and you're just trying to get your foot into the door. And then you fast forward a couple of decades and suddenly everyone wants to know you and you have all the long-term relationships and all that. It's almost like certain businesses, you can't be successful before you're in your 40s or 50s.
Mhm.
Looking at the talent that you're pulling for a lot of your events and your benefits and all that, it's kind of a blessing to not be 30, I would imagine.
Listen, I mean, getting into the business it's a hard barrier to entry. Uh, there's a lot of talented people. I mean, certainly we know in my today's age and all the talent shows like America's Got Talent and
Sure.
also all these other things. I mean, and there's so many talented people out there, and you go by how many followers they have, whatever. But it's even more than that. I mean, in order to get the penetration, of course, it's like who knows who, whatever. But we always try to tie something. I mean, we represent a few artists. I mean, we don't really delve too much into management, but we'll do publicity agreements, and we're working with one. One of them that is fantastic. I love them. Animazex, okay, is working with us, and we are teaming them up and with a blind school, a blind camp for
Hmm.
children, blind children. Okay, and I think it's in New Jersey, Camp Marcel or whatever, and that's going to be their charity of choice. So we put that all together. Okay, and eventually we're going to be planning a show that's coming up sometime soon, probably there to try to raise some funds. But it's just a feel good thing, Darren. It's a feel good thing that resonates, and just putting all those things together. Um, and that's a big part of what has been in my world. And I'm just so thankful. I mean, on my website
Hmm.
sohojohnny.com, I have a couple of quotes, and every day is a blessing and a gift, and I really believe that. I mean, people say, don't take any time for granted. We're here on a limited journey. Certainly, so many of us have been affected by what's going on with the pandemic and how it's affecting everything. But but it really is true. For me, getting as I got older, those words took on more of a meaning. And I will share this with the audience. And of course, I'm mourning and everything, but I'm not saying it for that reason, because when my how I channel energy when something happens, when you have a loss, I try to channel it to something good. That's my way of managing it.
Right.
I lost my mom to COVID earlier this year. Okay, and and her name is like part of how as I catapulted, let me help things together. Because what better thing could I do and of course it's a tragedy because it's unfortunate deaths right now, but I want to do something about it and help. And so that's why
You
when I
are.
did November 24th concert, part of the money went to prostate cancer, and part of it went to like Meals on Wheels for COVID or something like that. And actually I had another co-producer on it, another talented guy, artist, Andrew Cole, for anti-bullying. So that's the beauty of a foundation. You can do several things, but and the talent and the journey has been wonderful, and it continues to thrive, and it's we're looking forward. Things are going to get better as we progress here. I make light of nobody else's trials or tribulations of what they're going through. All I could say is that for most of the times, we have to look. There's always people less fortunate than us.
Of
Okay,
course. Of course.
I wake up every day and I try to remember that, yeah, I have some ailments, I have some health or whatever, or I may have losses, but there's somebody could be suffering more. And, if you do these things in outreach, I mean, for me, my belief is that these are the things that are going to elevate you when, at the end of your life. Okay. It's not going to be, I mean, the true riches is not really how money is a tool that we use. Business, we have to take care of business, of course, but what really is going to elevate us is these good deeds and this, and what I'm talking about. So I really believe that. And I hope, we can make a little bit of a difference here, right? If we could touch other people, if I could help my platform touch other people, and if people that are listening to this broadcast right now, and it's simple. You don't have to have much or just do. It's not like you have to write a check all the times. It could be just simple good faith of putting a smile on someone's face.
Well
Because
said.
if we all do that, that goodwill, that little bit good feeling, okay, spreads the domino. It could be just one person times X, and then you have a tidal wave of good faith and good feelings for everybody.
Well, my last question for you is putting you on the spot because it might take a little bit to recall this, but COVID started close to a year ago, and not quite a year. I know the answer to this, but what's the last concert that you attended before COVID, like an in-person real concert and not a live stream?
That's a good question. Hmm. Well, I'm always going to gigs, okay, and shows, okay. I think the last one I probably attended was I know I saw Andrea Bocelli, and he's wonderful.
Sure.
Actually, we're probably going to reach out to people like him for the blind camp. Like somebody like Stevie Wonder or some other people. There is just great, role models. Because we're all role models to each other, right? It doesn't matter what you have, who you are. It could be just somebody that has a regular job here, just still a role model to somebody,
Right.
right? And that's so important to remember. I would say maybe in Connecticut, I go to and they're great people that run the place, the Ridgefield Playhouse. I go there.
Yeah.
It's not too far where I live, and uh, um, I forget who. There's so many of them. I forget who the last one was because of COVID. It's a little bit while now since it's been in person. But that's a very good question. So listen, the one that sticks out in my mind probably Andrew Bocelli, Kiss. I saw, and who else? I think it was Adam Lambert and Queen. Okay, those are some that I saw downtown
Did
that I
you
remember.
did you see Kiss with David Lee Roth, or is it Kiss with the Painter opening up?
Um, I think it was the Painter. I don't think it wasn't David Lee Roth.
Okay,
It
well,
was
Kiss will be back. If concerts happen in August or September, they'll be back in Connecticut. So maybe see you there. John, really like what you're doing, really like the people you're working with. So just keep up all the greatness. And it's wonderful that somebody like you just wants to keep giving back, and there's no limit on the giving back.
that's it. There's a place for everything in life, and it's just a matter of you just got to wake up and just focus on your journey. And then whatever you do is all I ask is that we just keep community in mind and outreach. These are very very trying times, and if we all do that, it's really going to push the envelope forward. And I mean, listen, I mean, SoHoJohnny.com. People could sign up for our email list and Soho Johnny on YouTube, Instagram, all the usual suspects here.
Yeah.
But
And
it's
letmehelpinc.org. Do I have that correct?
right. Let me help inc.org. Yes, is the foundation. That's so true. We're probably going to do. We're planning another concert now, and we have certain artists that we work with. SMC, my friends at SMC, where we'll artists that are not really super A-listers yet that will tie them into like to be the next poster child for Coca-Cola or a multinational corporation. So, we try to be a little bit of a rainmaker for these people that are very very talented and get out there. We try to put the dots together, but there's always an underlying denominator because it's my belief that there has to be some type of charity, something for Broadway in Manhattan that's just gestating now to help raise money for education for kids to get into theatrical arts because money's tight all over now because of this pandemic stuff, right? It's just it's cut down budgets. Even other charities are getting hurt. So we've got some great, very very encouraging stuff going on there. So I encourage anybody just to follow us and all the usual suspects, Soho Johnny, and again, shout out to you, Darren, for having this show. Okay, because it matters. It makes a difference, and I just want to applaud you as well. And thank you for having me on your show today.
Looking forward to seeing what's coming soon. A lot of great things you talked about. So keep it up and just thanks. Great. Have a great rest of the day, John. Take care.
Paltrocast.